All right, and that was Come Over Again by the Crawlers. We are now joined in the studio with 6 Foot Blonde. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
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 Hey, this is not all of 6 Foot Blonde for context, but those of you who are here, welcome. We're going to be listening in just a second to your debut single, Callin To Karma. But first, who are you?
Well, we could start at me, I guess. My name is Dominic Hyab. I am the bass player for 6 Foot Blonde.
I'm Elliott Obermeyer. I am the guitarist of 6 Foot Blonde.
I'm Zach Patrick. I am also the guitarist of 6 Foot Blonde.
Awesome.
And unfortunately, we're missing Julia Rusiniak, our lead singer, John Alex, our keyboard player, and then Brian Healy, our drummer. They're all either out of town or injured in some capacity.
And we wish them the best of recovery, the safest of drives home. But thank you guys for joining me today. This is so exciting. I will say I know that Callin To Karma has been played at least 4 other times on WIUX this week, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's nice to have you guys on to actually wrap up the week.
Totally.
But tell us a little bit. We're going to listen to it, obviously, and then just chat about it afterwards. But tell us a little bit about the single, what it means to you. It's the first one. How does that feel?
I mean, I think it feels kind of amazing. We are, we've been playing together for, at this point, a year and a half, and having something to show that we all contributed to, and it, something we're all proud of is really cool. And we're able to share that with everyone. It's really important.
Yeah, and this really just, kind of like what you said, it feels like an amalgamation of a lot of time spent together. And this single and also all the other things that we've recorded that will be getting released at some point. It just really feels like this snapshot of the past year for us and really what it's meant for us to be playing together and make these, make this music family that we've made. So, yeah, pretty special. Yeah.
Awesome. Elliott, any thoughts?
I think that they covered a lot of it. More than anything, it's really fun to see. And it's been enough time since we recorded it to kind of reflect on to how far we've come since recording it, but also how far we went to record it just as a sense of tightness, as a sense of, I think, community was a lot. It was so much fun to record it that it was like, I think back on that when I'm listening to it almost more than the music at this point because I'm tired of thinking critically about it.
Yeah.
So it's fun to think about the memories and kind of enjoy the song while like having those flashback through my head.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a listen to Callin To Karma. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is 6 Foot Blonde's debut single. Enjoy.
It was last Thursday night when she called me on my line. Said, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Let's just put this all behind. It was no surprise, always telling lies. Said she's at another low point in her life. Who does she think she is? Doesn't know the consequence of living in the fiction of your mind. I'm sick of hearing of her reactive feelings. What is she flowing? Thinks she got options, nowhere to hide. Call to fate, call to karma, you call whoever you wanna, 'cause those are all your problems, they ain't mine. I'm calling to karma, so next time you got a problem, call your mama, not my line. I've been dodging every call, I felt so tired of it all. As soon as I thought I was free, I saw her staring back at me. She was holding hands, oh, with my ex-man. Last night at the diner, back to where it all began. Ooh, girl, out of all the men in the world, I'm glad she chose a man who ain't worthwhile. His head's in the ceiling, ain't no genuine feelings. They got what is coming, better be running from all the lies.
That was Callin To Karma, 6 Foot Blonde. What a great song. We could just say that off the bat. I'll editorialize.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Tell us, I mean, you were remarking as we were listening to it, there was a lot of people involved in the making of this song, you know, originally 9 members. Tell us a little bit about just the making of the song, bouncing everybody's ideas.
We look back now and like, it was stressful in the moment a little bit because having 9 people in a studio space, like all sitting, listening to it once all the parts were made even. There's a lot of voices always, and we're all very opinionated, passionate people about the project, which is great. And on most metrics, that is a great thing to have in a band of just really dedicated people. Mm-hmm. But sometimes there's a lot of voices, and you know, it doesn't slow progress, but it makes a different process, I think. So.
No, I think you're 100% right, Dom. And one of the fun things we learned throughout the way was kind of how to navigate that process.
Yeah.
And although, you know, obviously there is a lot of voices, we are able to kind of maximize and find out the best way to accumulate everyone's ideas into something that we are really, really proud to share.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things, that, especially with Callin To Karma, stands out to me about it is like, Zach wrote the bridge, or Zach wrote the main chords. Adam and I wrote the bridge. Mm-hmm. The horn parts were very eclectic, and then we sent it off to Julie and Emma, and then they wrote all of the melodies and the harmonies and the lyrics for it. So, and because of that, it is a little bit of a smorgasbord of different ideas and different musical tastes,
Right.
Which is the advantage and the beauty of 9 people, because you don't have nearly as much of a creative limitation on your own perspective coming into it, mm-hmm. and that makes the song stand out to me a lot more, is because it's truly like everybody contributed.
Yeah. And again, like I think the process of being in the studio with each other not only taught us like how to listen to each other even better, like, you know, we really like honed that in practice, but then to go into this space where you very hands-on with a single project, mm-hmm. you know, it's not like, you know, you're in practice and like you're playing your instrument. You are all in a room, all listening to the same exact thing, and you all can say whatever you want about each individual part and what you think. Mm-hmm. But with that, it like really helped us develop like a lot of, you know, respect for how we approached, you know, each other's thoughts about it, and it really like helped us actually develop better teamwork in terms of like the studio, but then also outside the studio, I think, in our rehearsal space and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. What as we mentioned, there were 9 people when making this song. Now, those still in Bloomington, it's just down to the 6. How does it, I don't know, if you want to talk about that process of having to have members graduate, per se, and just having this kind of, like you said, like memory and time preserved in a song. I don't know, just anything about the change that's occurred in the past year.
I think it's a really... We had something special last year, and we do still have something special now. It's just a different kind of special, you know? It was a really great experience having, you know, we are 9 best friends who were able to play music with each other, and that's a really, really great experience. Mm-hmm. And now it's 6 of us, and obviously there's a lot of, you know, contributions that people made, and there's a lot of contributions that people can still make in the future. That door is still open. So it's really, it's different. They're both good. It's just different.
Yeah, and I'll make the comment that less voices has allowed us to an extent become a lot more like cohesive in a rehearsal space with each other. Mm-hmm. Being able to really focus on a lot of the more minutia of our songwriting, and of even when we play covers still, like there's a level of like all of us who have stayed have like made the active decision to be like, this is what we're doing. And because of that sheer fact, there's a level of, I think, internal determination and like drive for this next year, 2 years, however long we chase this, of like, we all know that we're all the way in, and like that brings a lot of drive in all of our time that we spend rehearsing and writing and everything. And like, we're still writing now. We've written another, 4-5 songs since we recorded these past 8 to 10. So, like we're writing constantly, and it's a lot of fun, and we've gotten a lot tighter as a group, over this past, 4 or 5 months, just because of, the amount of time we've dedicated ourselves into this now.
Exactly.
So like we rehearse 3 days a week. more or less. So
Yeah, I think too, like going off of what you said about there was it almost came together accidentally. With the 9 of us, like it was very, oh shoot, we found ourselves in this moment and with these people, with these opportunities, and it was something that we didn't take for granted. That's why we wanted to capture it, I think, in the song form. But with the 6 of us, it was less of an accident and a lot more of a choice. With people staying who had graduated, with people who were still in school, spending a lot more time with it, and so that neither is specifically like better or worse, but it is definitely more concentrated because of it, and that intentionality is, I think, allowed us to grow a lot as musicians, and also just how our approach has changed a lot, which is
Yeah.
fun.
absolutely,
So a good change.
very good change.
Very
It's
good
been
change.
Very, very
Yeah.
good change.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good change.
Sad in a sense of you love
course.
Caleb, Emma, Adam, and you miss them all the time. And
Yeah.
I think for me it was weird just because they were the people that I spent like my entire class with. Like they were the people that Caleb was the person I spent probably a good 40 hours a week with every day, every week senior year. So it was weird in that capacity, but you root for your best friends to make the right decisions, and they all did. So
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's a very complex feeling of like a lot of good has come from us like pursuing this. At the same time, it was, sad to like say bye and like this is this chapter of the band.
Right.
And really what these songs and what this album is like, that's what is being encapsulated. It's like that very first year of just capturing that moment of, hey, we can do this. Let's do it. And yeah,
I completely agree. Capturing that first year, capturing the energy, capturing the magic, capturing the lightning in a bottle, if you will,
the lightning in a bottle. Yeah, it's a good
it
line.
is really just a cool experience that we were able to, that week in June, that week to, create something has been very, very cool. And we're happy to share it.
Absolutely.
We're unfortunately just about out of time. Elliott, did you have a story that you wanted to share?
Oh,
or
no.
Am I speaking?
No,
Okay.
The one thing I did want to say, though, is Adam
Yes.
Cohen rips on the saxophone.
oh my
Adam
gosh,
Cohen
Adam Cohen
rips.
rips on the
Yeah,
saxophone.
and especially just that song, his solo is wonderful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun for us because we know every note of his solo and we could sing it. We're not going to do it
Can
now.
attest. Can attest.
Well, we're not going to do it now for the audience, but we can do it, and it's Adam Cohen rips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the three of you from 6 Foot Bond, thank you for coming on.
Oh my gosh,
It-
thank you for having us.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
Of
it's been
course.
great.
It sounds like we should be expecting an album, perhaps another single drop in the near future. What?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Certainly
Absolutely.
another single drop, and then
Got
a
it.
collection of songs will be coming out
Okay.
in the future after that. It's
Yep.
Yep.
The mixing and mastering process
is a time.
hell.
But no, it's fun.
And
It is
yeah,
fun. It's just
going back, and it's more of going back and forth with it because the person that is mixing and mastering for us, Joe Caldwell, he's out in LA now, and he's awesome. He's just an incredible producer, but just doing it virtually
Yeah.
Makes it a little
extends
harder.
the process a lot. Yeah,
it's fun. We're enjoying it. We're gonna get all these songs out, and it's gonna be one hell of a time. So
most definitely.
we'll be having another single out soon. So stay tuned. WIUX.
Gosh,
That is totally right. I'm sure you will be getting a lot of airtime once that drops. But for the people, you guys can follow 6 Foot Bond at 6 Foot Bond on Instagram. Once again, this is Growing Pains. You can find me at Growing Pains WIUX on Instagram. Stay tuned for each week for more cool interviews. 6 Foot Bond, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Bloomington. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.